Speaking of, we were just discussing my health insurance woes that I have to pick a new policy because my wonderful provider kills my policy every year, and I have to pick a new one because they're not making enough money on it. They should be in DeFi with that money, but I wonder how these guys that work at DAOs get their insurance. I guess they get it on the marketplace. I don't know, but that'd be a great offering in DeFi.
I saw something out there, insure, but I don't think it was portfolio insurance. I can't remember exactly what it did, but I think people are thinking along those lines. Problem with health insurance, as you know, there's sort of state monopolies. So certain people in the states control the plans and have a vested interest in, obviously milking more money out of that captive audience.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do like that was all the resistance to say, different types of Affordable Health Care Act or whatever. So to me, I think insurance is a tricky one. I think it really just has to be portable and everybody gets it on their own. I'm suspecting, those DAO guys do on the personal side, and then, do whatever they do.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, how companies form their own insurance pool sometimes and don't use a policy provider and just bet, they have enough. I'm wondering if there could be a DeFi thing that way.
I bet there could.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to run with that $1 billion idea, just remember.
Yeah. Well, they would need us as advisors because,
of course, highly paid.
For some reason, they should need us as advisors.
Wow.
So real quick, before we dive into any news and stuff, I've been testing. My buddy Corey launched his yield farming operation, BlueDAC, on the Wax protocol. And so this morning, my buddy gave me some of their blue tokens, and so this morning I was playing around with it and was pretty blown away by speed. So I'm going to try a live experiment here with some staking I'm doing, and they're working on a lot of interface stuff and all kinds of stuff on this thing, but it functions just like you would expect it. The only swap on the network right now, or the primary swap on the network right now, is Alcor. I mean, there is literally like next to zero DeFi on this blockchain, a ton of NFT, and they are well known for their NFTs and have big relationships with Tops and others. And there's 7 million users on this blockchain. But up till now, there hasn't been much in the way of DeFi at all. So stage one, BlueDAC's launching yield farming. So this is Alcor, the primary swap that everybody uses on the site. So I've bought some Wax, the token of the chain, and I'm going to do a swap here real quick. I was like stunned by the speed of this blockchain. So let's see if it stays that way for me, because how Polygon is fast every now and then. And then so wallet prompt is up. You guys can't see that. I'm approving, and of course we had a failed swap. Yeah, there we go. Live demos are always great. Okay.
Did it go through?
I think I have the wrong amount in here. Oh, I think I do. Okay, let's connect the wallet. We'll start over again. Yeah, it said something about the amount. I should probably read the error message before I just... All right, so I want half of my Wax. Yeah. Swap. Approve. There it goes. See how fast that went?
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
That's really friggin' fast. Like, there's no delay. There's no lag. There's nothing. Like, nothing. So we'll come over here. I have to do the liquidity pool. So I'm going to add liquidity. I got my Wax and my blue. Going to have to do it the other way. I don't have enough blue there. And let's see how long providing liquidity takes. Click it. The wallet pop-up takes longer than the actual swap. I approve. And there it is. Done. Like, that is just sick fast. Like, I have not used a chain that transacts that rapidly at all. So we'll stake. I do have Blue Wax. I guess I have to refresh.
What are you on? What's it? Bluedac.io?
Bluedac.io. BLUDAC.io. So I've already got some staked from earlier today. I'm going to stake this little bit here. I told him he needs to add a max button here, so I don't have to copy and paste this. But we're going to stake. The wallet approval is up. I'm approved. And I'm approved again. And it's done. It's insane, man. Like, this chain is so fast. I have no idea how. I have no idea the structure of this blockchain or the centralization versus decentralization, but I really want to dive in deeper because it's just like an application works, not like a blockchain usually works.
What's their what's the transaction volume?
I do currently know. Let's check. Their transactions per second are 5,000 transactions per second. Let me look up Wax transaction volume. Let's see where they are right now.
And if you have any comps to like
24-hour. Oh no, that's trade volume on the token. I want DApp radar. Maybe that'll help me. Hold on, I'm looking while we talk.
Yeah, no. This is good exercise for everybody watching or listening of how you kind of go through and look at different opportunities. So first thing I say is look at the comps versus the other networks.
Yep.
See how, is this because there's less users that it's so fast, or is there something, because I don't understand the technology in that blockchain either. There's all these different protocols, but you could find that in the white paper.
Yep. So, I'm going to check it out because if, and they just launched a DeFi fund to get projects over to them. So they're trying to encourage people to come over. They're supposedly launching EVM compatibility soon.
So what's good about that, everyone, is that means that when you yield farm on that platform, there will be a higher concentration of rewards at the beginning.
Yep.
So because they want to get user adoption, just the same way, companies market for users on their platform. This is what they're doing. And it sounds like they're going to differentiate on how fast they are and how speedy they are. And probably some other things that are in the white paper. But this is when, if you trust the people, as Brad does, and you trust the math, this is a time when it's, attractive to put a little, throw a little on that one.
Yeah.
As I say, and grow with it.
We started talking about all the projects that need to launch over here, right? They have 7 million users who are spending money on NFTs, but they're not, getting exposure to DeFi. So it's an awesome opportunity. The other thing I think is a great opportunity is to kind of change the interactions in the interface, right? So I'm helping out Define with some of that, but I'm really you see something like this that functions this fast, and if it can maintain that with load, that's awesome. I'm having trouble finding overall volume on the blockchain. What I do know is trading volume for the primary token is 38.89 million in the last 24 hours. What I don't know is maybe the Wax Block Explorer will tell me total transactional volume.
So
anyway,
I'm just seeing if it's over on the DeFi Llama chains list. Hold on.
Yeah, I found TVL, but I couldn't find actual volume. So I don't know if this is 24 hours or so. Oh, this is block number. Current max transactions. Current transactions are 252. Max is 2,514 per second. Market cap, there are 7,088,000 accounts. I don't know. I just, it's interesting. They do have a fiat to wallet, fiat to crypto gateway built into the primary wallet. The wallet's pretty decent. You can buy Wax E, which is the Ethereum representation of Wax, which is not wrapped, by the way. It's different price, everything. You can buy that and bridge it in the wallet over to the blockchain as well.
Well, that's another important thing is bridging.
Yep.
Moving from chain to chain and trying to do that without having to roll through ETH layer 1.
Yep.
You'll save a lot of money. I do that from Polygon to Phantom, pretty inexpensively on that Spooky Swap site. And then you can also go right back out to ETH then. So I think it's almost cheaper for me to go Polygon to Phantom via Spooky and then off to ETH via Spooky to, if I'm taking something off the board, than going with the Matic wallet straight out to ETH.
Right.
So more things to think about, but also, test the bridges. Don't go, oh, hey, 20 ETH, let's go. Just work little bits first to get confidence.
So staked wax, total wax. So there's something with staking and RAM. I'm going to have to really look at this and how it all works.
But hey, it sounds like a good find. And are we talking to him the day after tomorrow?
We are. We're going to interview the man.
Cool.
And he's just a great guy. He's just an all around mensch.
So everyone could get the alpha straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. So they have some really cool NFT gate chains on here, protocols on here. They have built in. This is the wallet, by the way. This is the Wax primary cloud wallet, and your address is not a number. It's a sequence of letters. And I actually think this can be customized, but I have no idea how to do it. That's a bunch of the dApps that are available on it. Almost all of them are oriented to NFTs.
I like this. Yeah.
And you can earn staking rewards. I mean, I've often talked about, and I'd love to see more embedded in the wallet, but I still, I'm impressed. And this is the ETH bridge. So you can buy Wax on the Ethereum blockchain and transfer it over. I think it took like 12, 13 minutes when I did it yesterday.
So, that's for your first load of loading up.
When I did the bridge the first time, it took like 12 to 13 minutes to get it over.
Because, you have to get some currency over there to use to, like on Polygon, you have to have some Matic so that you can do the transactions.
Yep.
Moving it onto the wallet is a transaction.
Yeah.
So
they have built in like some staking here. I'm assuming this has something to do with securing the network, but have no clue because I haven't really looked deep enough into Wax. But I'm going to take a look. I usually am hesitant about jumping into new chains, but having a buddy that's doing something on it and playing with it, and then seeing how fast it is just makes me want to play a little bit and see what happens. So
yeah, well, we're always looking for new layer ones.
Yep.
So because that's where the growth is.
The other interesting thing, sorry about that. The other interesting thing is, we may have talked about this yesterday, is that the development environment for this is C++.
That's right.
Right? Or EOS.io, which is the EOS language, which is based on C++. So the interesting thing here is that that opens up the door to a lot of developers, like a ton of developers that are not Solidity developers, right? And they don't have to relearn everything that they already know. They can start coding for this platform, which is probably one of the reasons why it's so fast, right? Because C++ is, obviously a faster, faster language. I don't know how the compiling works or anything else, but again, I'm thoroughly blown away by the speed. I have not done a single transaction and Phantom is fast and Avalanche is fast. Polygon is fast when it's not clogged up, but I've not done transactions on any of those blockchains that were as fast as this. Just nothing.
What's interesting is that, as I recall, and again, I did some Fortran coding back in the day and Pascal, I think, but it's not really my strong suit to put it mildly. But I remember C++ was being used a lot in the .com days in work. And so to me, that's kind of interesting because those that didn't migrate, like you said, and learn, Solidity or Python to Solidity, now all of a sudden they have a direct entry point into these types of projects with C++ skills. Wow. So it untaps a whole nother pool of labor that, maybe hasn't been exposed to crypto as much up to this point. So very positive thing.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And, we always talk about NFTs being the gateway drug to crypto. And you've got a lot of NFT enthusiasts on this blockchain. So
that got into NFTs because they like NFTs, not crypto to NFT. So most of us came crypto to NFT, and these are like kind of newbies that are new players in the system that are bringing capital into the cryptocurrency economy. So that's 7 million. You know, of that, I would say probably a good at least, I don't know, 50-60%. Probably have not done crypto transactions. You know. So they're just storing here or doing something else. But
they're buying and making and building. There's some music NFTs out there on that platform. Corey has some because he's a musician. He's actually really talented. Anyway, I like new shit. I like new toys. So I'm going to give it a run. Give it a shot.
I will be in there with you. I'm pretty sure.
Awesome.
So you know, obviously the big news of the day was ETFs. If you want to segue now, are you good? Or?
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I'm annoyed with ETFs, but I also like ETFs, so I'm a little torn.
Well, it's, you know, I remember doing some ETFs years ago, like energy ETF or, you know, Fidelity or something, just things like that to bet the sector, you know, or index type plays.
Right.
And, you know, what I see with this is the interesting takeaways I picked up. There's also Bloomberg.com/crypto. If you want to look at institutional stuff, I mean, that is really good media now, good content.
Oh, good.
But it talks about Sailor.
Not as good as us, but.
Right. But, you know, for the people who are like not quite sure of what's going on and you want a little bit of like institutional, you know, CYA kind of think speak, look there because it's, you know, it talks about like MicroStrategy and how they're taking a hit because, you know, they were kind of a proxy ETF sort of for people that, you know, could only do regulated investments. Well, this is kind of taking the steam out of them. That Grayscale or what is that? Grayscale. Yeah. That they're going for the big ETF play. And, you know, I think ARX is done. So, you know, there's good articles here just to kind of, you know, look at it. Now, myself, I think that, you know, the difference between like December in 2017 in the concept of buy the rumor, sell the news, or, you know, exit liquidity, which I think was 2017 when futures went up on CME, you know, the price went down. The difference now is that when you look at the order books, you could see all the institutional buyers just stacked up liquidity at the top and the bottom. You know, right now, I think I haven't looked. It's right here. I think there was a ton on like the 4,000 line. Yeah, there's a ton of like stuff parked there, and there's a ton parked on 36 to 3,700 line. So it's banded, and you can't get that with this type of liquidity. This allows more people to ETF type, futures ETF type.
Right.
It allows more people to come in and play in this space that have bigger money and don't have to worry about it vaporizing anymore. Because that's always been the non-true believers' biggest thing. Now, of course, I say, well, Enron, Tyco, Anderson, whatever, you know, stuff vaporizes. But this opens the gate to a lot of people to where it's the easy way to stick their toe in. Now, they'll never get to the level of most of what we're talking about, but they will cause appreciation in the top tier assets.
Yeah.
So I think it feeds into this sort of cycle we're looking at of BTC to ETH to large cap, layer ones, lending protocols, all of that, NFTs, as it cycles through. So I look at it as a positive.
Yeah, I mean, I like the exposure. I tweeted this morning. It's, you know, trying to fit our round peg into their square hole. And I get it. You know, look, it's another way to make money, but the reason it happens is because of the requirements that these institutions have for how they manage the investments, right? And none of them want to get into custody and everything else that's required. Now, there are plenty of providers of custody for Bitcoin and Ethereum, et cetera, but it frustrates me that it kind of defeats the whole purpose of Bitcoin, Ethereum, DeFi, everything, right? Because an ETF is only here because it's what they're used to and it feels safer. But the fact is that they don't have to go through all those hoops and paying out all those fees when they can just buy the shit directly. Even OTC with a custody provider is going to be a better deal than that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Bugs me. They're not buying Bitcoin, right? And I want them buying Bitcoin. I want them buying Ethereum. I want them diving in to see what DeFi is like. Maybe this is the gateway that gets them here. I don't know.
Well, the next, it's a transition. Look, the next one, what everybody wants is the spot Bitcoin ETF. And that's next on the list.
Right.
So, I think this kind of goes as like the soft launch of that. And then once everybody builds confidence, then you'll get more into the stuff that you're talking about.
Right.
That is what we want.
Right.
It's like those, what was that one? E-Gold or whatever, the physically backed gold ETF. I saw something where it was an article, I think might have been on that Bloomberg site where they went, that's done like, 8,400x or something like that since inception crazy. In 2005, or 2005. So this is where I think we want to get, because then that locks up BTC too.
True.
Takes stuff out of supply. So
true. That's a good point. Valid point.
Incremental step, but step in the right direction.
So check out this yoga pretzel action here by Deputy Treasury Secretary Cawley Adeyemo. I have no idea. On crypto today. One of the most important things for us is to remind ourselves that innovation is something that has been good for our economy, and we need to make sure that we create an environment that allows that innovation to exist, but that we want to make sure that we have regulatory rules for the road that protect consumers, investors, and our national security. Doing that will require us to extend our existing regulatory apparatus to address these issues, but also potentially work with Congress where we may need new regulatory rules of the road to address new innovation. But the thing that we want to make sure that we continue to do is that we create room for helpful innovation that would advance our economic interest. I mean, that's a whole lot of like words to say. We're going to slap you with our regulatory shit that doesn't fit. And, maybe we'll have Congress help us out a little bit here and there on some other stuff. But it's just like, oh my God, man, I can't imagine living my life every day talking like this. I just can't fathom it. It's just like, kills me.
I think what was the technical word for it? Bureaucraties or something like that. Look, this is policy guy probably, and he's laying out, he doesn't want to say the wrong thing and get smacked down.
Exactly.
So he says both sides of everything, upside and down and all of that. And, it's so to me, again, I look at that as like, okay, he's not saying no crypto. It's like,
wow. Okay. You are way generous, dude.
Well, I mean, I think it's that these guys are all protecting themselves too,
If they try to put crypto into the regulatory framework, there is no crypto.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a new regulatory framework
because you can't make it work. Like, look at the 400 middlemen involved in every fucking stock transaction, and the delays and the 4 days to settle a buy and blah blah blah. And it's like, oh my God, that would be disastrous. That's why DeFi is going to be anonymous. Anybody that has a brain launching a DeFi product is going to be anonymous, or at least be in a location where the SEC can't arrest them. And they're going to push this further away from, the whole bullshit idea that they're keeping people safe. So I don't know. Well,
also too, let's add one more filter or lens to this, that I think they're still looking at everything in the perspective of like the 2018 or 2017 ICO stuff. Yeah. And I think that's where they sort of, that is an easy one, because there were a lot of examples of people just outright making shit up, like fake management teams and stealing the money.
You mean kind of like, wait a minute.
There's quite a few back
there. Wait for it. You mean kind of like this con job? Publicly traded, regulated Nikola.
Yeah.
This total complete scam
was that the electric
that
truck
lost people billions of dollars.
That was it.
Yeah, that
was traditional finance, though, wasn't it?
This is the total scammer that's going to jail.
Yeah. Well,
this is what tells you that they're full of shit, because this regulated world is supposed to be protecting consumers, but it doesn't. It's always after the fact. It's a lie. Nobody's getting protected. Nobody is getting protected. If somebody
Well,
wants, look, how many boiler rooms still exist selling penny stocks to old people?
Well, I don't know about that, but I think what's interesting is that there was this wave of companies that came out with, and again, I'm not going to pick on any of them, but let's just go down the list. I mean, WeWork, Nikola, Theranos, blah blah blah. I'll just stick with the ones that seem kind of obvious. Where a charismatic CFO or CEO with the backing of the board, pretty much turns into megalomaniacal sociopath and will do anything at that point.
Yeah.
So it just encourages their best interest. I don't know how you stop that behavior other than catching them after the fact through a misrep or something. But for the most part, I mean, again, I always think of Tyco and Enron and all of those. I mean, where was the oversight? And sometimes, or the mortgage-backed security stuff in 08, 09. It's hard to stay on top of innovation, and in crypto, that innovation is happening so fast. But my point was just that I think there's a lot less of the shady ICO raise kind of stuff going on now than there was in the past. And I think, as I always say, trust the math.
Yes, I agree.
Okay? So DAOs and all of that, while it probably scares the hell out of a lot of people because there's no one really running it other than the token owners, which are sort of like the shareholders in a way, for voting on proxies and things. That happens, but nobody knows who anybody is. And, that is a regulatory challenge. But I think it's better in so many ways because it doesn't allow humans to give into the basic, primal greed nature or panic and steal all the money.
Yeah.
I think that's the positive. So to me, I think we're getting there, but to what you say, yeah, they're still stuck in 2018.
Yeah. I mean,
government's
look,
always behind.
How many people got suckered in here? Oh, wait, let's stay in. Okay, here. And now they're here. I mean, it's just, and
Well,
we could go through the list of .com failures and cons.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I love the ones. Mile always, there was this one company called I think it was fuckedcompany.com or something.
Yeah. It was great.
And, you had all these high profile where people were had already blown through 40 million in VC money. And then at the very last legs, we're going to I don't want to name it, but a very prestigious, Silicon Valley, Palo Alto kind of finance house and getting $10 million unsecured loans.
Yeah.
And then walking on everything.
Exactly.
And, all of a sudden they have Ferraris and, penthouses and stuff. And all the investors are, wrecked basically. So.
I've told you my .com story, right?
The roll-up one where.
Yeah. So we were the third largest hosting company in the world, backed by Microsoft and Dell and SoftBank, taken public by Merrill Lynch. Board of directors. You couldn't get better in couldn't get better in the .com thing. I went to my first board meeting to talk about our integration of our SaaS, the world's first small business SaaS provider, into one of the largest web hosting companies in the world, and nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit. They were all counting their money. IPO was over. Lockup was done. And, nobody cared. Nobody cared. I went home that night. I sold every .com stock I had. I said, if this company is this, then every one of them is a scam. So I guess the point is, what does the SEC do except clean up the mess afterwards? Right? And does anybody ever really get made whole? Probably not. The Nickel investors, what are they going to get? They're going to see the SEC collect a fine, and they're going to see this guy frog marched off to jail, but they're not going to see their money back and their lost value back. So my point is that while the registration framework is supposed to protect investors, it doesn't actually do it. Somebody wants to con you, they will. And when the greed is running high like .com, people are going to con you. They are going to do whatever they can to get away with it, and they think they can, or they believe that's just, the wealth is just around the corner, the company's going to be profitable, blah, 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 blah. I just think it's all bullshit, and it's all window dressing, and it's a way to also keep people out of the game. it's just like, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just rambling.
No. This is a constant theme is, does regulatory authority protect small investors, or is it protecting large monopolies?
Yeah. Let's spend his budget on educating people about investing. Let's do that. Right. Let's get consumers and kids trained on how to make and manage money instead of all of this bureaucracy and bullshit that doesn't do anything for anybody.
Well, I told you the story about when I was, I was dealing with the London mayor and their finance ministry, and through the consulate in New York about a client of mine, and they were like, "Look, here you go into one room and talk to one person over a cup of tea, and then they decide whether you're acceptable or not." There in the US, you got like 18 agencies to talk to, and everybody's saying the opposite thing. So you just decide, okay, am I going to just not do anything, or am I going to go for it? Well, we go for it in America. So you go for it, and then you unfortunately have to clean it up after people call you a bunch of names. But that's what lawyers are for. So, I just think that they want to protect the grandmas from getting hustled. But they also want as you can see from that bureaucraties speak from, I can't remember his name, but they also want to keep encouraging innovation. So, using those words as guidance from the top that we need to innovate, look at Singapore, continuous innovation economy. So I think it's just hard to always implement that from policy to practicality in the government.
So Wally has been a bureaucrat or a think tank guy his whole career, except for a brief stint in between administrations. Can you guess where?
I can't see it, but I'm going to say Goldman Sachs.
No, let's go with BlackRock for $10,000.
Well, see, that's good too. I mean, they're like, dude, $7 trillion worth of assets under management. They've been strongly encouraging people to, allocate a quarter point or something, a small stake to crypto. So they're, now you're seeing sort of people from the financial institutions. I mean, I know what you're thinking, how it looks, but I look at it as more, that tells me that, because he still has his BlackRock Rolodex. So, hey, what do you guys think of this idea? That kind of, industry feedback happens, and it's a positive thing. But,
well, I definitely think the feedback is good. It just cracks me up. He's been in bureaucracy his whole life, and then suddenly does a 4-year stint at BlackRock. He's like, well, fuck this 120,000 a year shit. I'm going.
Was it?
I think it was after the Obama administration, and then.
So, look, that type of hiring happens because how do I say it? Well, BlackRock wanted his contacts, basically.
Of course.
And so he goes in and helps them figure out what's permissible, what's not, and works that Rolodex a little bit. So it's the way it is.
All right. What else you got in DeFi today, Joe?
Well, on the pools, quickly, DeFi pool. I did notice that there's a rollover day coming, and it looks like 2 days and 20 hours, where a lot of the pools matched up with Matic and Luna and Link.
Oh, FD Fine is up 20%. That's awesome. I'm sorry. Go ahead now.
No. Lots of blue chips there. So take a look at that.
Which one?
Define ecosystem pools.
All right.
The ones at the bottom, they roll over in 2 days and 20 hours.
Oh, good. So the good money comes back in.
Yeah. So if you see these APRs.
Because they're still at like curves at 158%. Damn.
Yeah. Now that's at the end of the pool, and I'm still in.
What's in there right now? Well, I would too. That's sweet.
No, actually, why am I? Oh, I'm not hooked up with my wallet. Yeah. But I did say I pulled the Aave pool down just because I wanted to put Aave on Aave. And, have some Define in the vault.
Are you still in that Matrix pool?
Yes, I'm still there too. Yeah.
418.
Yeah, that's holding.
Damn, I got to stop goofing off and get back into some real money.
So, and then of course the favorite under the dual farm tab of farms, the fourth one down, you'll see the router and Define. That's rolling over too in 2 hours and 2 days and 20 hours. So that one will go up typically into the 400 to 500%. And router is.
Why don't you explain to people why it's important to catch it right at the flip?
because there's nothing very little in the pools. So not everybody stays on top of the shift. So this 2 hour and 2 days, 20 hours, 16 minutes and 41 seconds is when this pool ends. So when that ends, another one immediately pops up. But your liquidity, your LP tokens are still sitting in this old pool. So you have to take them down from there, and you don't have to then withdraw the underlying currencies or instruments, the route and the define. You just have to transfer those tokens into the next pool.
Yeah.
And once you do that, not everybody looks at it exactly at that time. So the yields will be like sky high, 500%, 1,000, whatever. They'll only hold for maybe a day or so.
Right.
People go, oh yeah, I forgot to switch that over, because they're not getting the rewards anymore in the old pool.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to move, and then you just stay there. But remember this route define one was at maybe 500% at the beginning of the month, and it's held to like 190 the whole way. It was in the 3s and 4s for a long stretch, and router is a token I want. So it's that super mainnet cross liquidity protocol. Router
yeah, I love it.
protocol.
Well, it's part of DeFi, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole ownership structure there that's like, I just wanted to check out what this PBR is, because it was at 1,000% APY.
Now I've looked at that
Very lightly
times.
traded.
It's a Polka Bridge or Polka
look at
Fantasy
that.
or something.
That would have been a nice
intriguing.
pool to be in the last.
It looks interesting. I mean,
what is it? It's the Polka Bridge.
I think it is.
85% in the last few days, man.
Yeah. So what I say there, sell some if you're in it.
Yeah. Let's see what they say about it.
But
Polka Bridge.
So you look at these opportunities here, and also this is the one they supposedly got the prediction market working out of beta.
Whoa.
What's that one?
This is Polka Bridge, multi-chain AMM.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
So that's interesting. DeFi's listing a project that actually is going to directly compete with their entire thesis.
Well, I think what's happening is
they're using it.
Maybe, but I think that they seem to look at router protocol as kind of being the center of their ecosystem going forward.
Yeah.
And Define is the one that's going to run, I guess, across all the platforms. As far as yield farming platform. So
essentially it's going to be centric. I get it. This is why they like it, and this is why DeFi is listed as a partner, because this thing is going to be centric to the Polkadot platform, so that Polkadot users can trade in and out of currencies on other chains.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's kind of like the other side of, they're kind of doing a hub and spoke strategy. Visualization of, platforms.
That's very nice.
Highways and airports. So,
and this one's sitting at 1,187% right now.
Yeah. So, you can buy the token right there on the swap thing on the platform. And then, do your thing where you allocate it, into the pool and then stake those LP tokens.
Yeah.
And you can pull it down anytime. The other thing is they do have some of those popular farms, but those have lockups attached to them usually. And so I kind of just stopped doing it because the rates of return weren't as high. And I'm locking stuff up. So on one hand, I like it because it's like a savings account.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't like it. So
I
agree. Crystal, you look at Crystal lately. I mean, I'm still.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm still staking over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in that Azuki Matic pool. It's doing what? Where is it? Right there. It's doing 225%.
Get back over to Crystal.
So the earnings there, I put in the other one, getting more Azuki, and I'm pulling, about a decent chunk of Azuki every day there. And to me, this is a really good community on Telegram. They're very responsive and supportive.
I'm going to harvest while we're talking.
Yeah. So he's going to push that button and pulls down the crystal that he earned, which is
the wallet pops up. You guys can't see that in the screen share.
And then he's going to probably move that over to the pool where
I'm still just stacking crystal in the pool.
Well, what's funny is I realized that I was kind of calculating this, and I realized that just doing this strategy, I'm up like 140%. Yeah, in a matter of 30, 45 days.
Oh, so, I've earned $1,486.
Yeah, I mean, I
since
think
we started.
I'm in with less than you, I think, and but yeah, no, I mean, plus the pool value has appreciated, 25%.
Yeah.
And, so I'm up there and I'm up, with all that free crystal. I mean, I don't know, infinity return there. But, my cost in now is very, very low.
But look how long this transaction takes.
Yeah, no, this is a little bit of a slower one.
No, and I don't mean Crystal in general. I think it's Polygon in general, right? Crystal up their transaction fees. I don't think they can control it. And it's, kind of why I was so excited about Wax, because I was like, holy shit, this is like so fast. Look, I mean, end of the day, there's a lot more to choose from right now on Polygon. But for those of you out there listening that are developers in C++ or that have some projects that are EVM compatible, you really may want to consider talking to the folks at Wax. I think they got like 33 million set aside for projects to move over. So, there's some incentives there, and, there's a lot of customers with nothing to do and the tokens sitting in their wallets. So that's could be a nice opportunity. So, yeah, and I'm earning my Crystal tokens on this Azuki Matic stake, so.
Yeah, and then you put them over in the vault or whatever, or the pool to earn
the pool,
Azuki, right?
Yeah, and I just put it in this auto pool because I like that because it saves me time. These things automatically keep staking. That put me up over $1,500 earned. Just look, people, all I'm doing is coming in twice a day, harvesting those tokens, putting them in the pool
for another 400% interest.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, you can't. Well, we're at 285 on Crystal, and what am I getting on Azuki right now? 224 for the Azuki Matic. And sure, I've got cash sitting away over here that I could be using for something else, but this is the easiest fucking way to earn money I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. And, again,
so
yeah, one thing is you have to see, that's why you find the platforms that work. So when Brad talks about Wax, it looks like that works. So when people start getting tired of these, they rotate to other ones. Like I noticed a lot of news over the weekend about a lot of the big ETH layer one plays going straight over to Phantom.
Yeah.
The inverses, the ohms, those types of alchemixy plays. So in the new ones that haven't done anything yet, there's plays on these other chains. And I started thinking about Polygon, and it's got to be because it's the same argument now. Polygon spoiled everybody with these, 1/100th of a penny transaction fees, where ETH back then was like 30 and we were bitching.
Yeah.
Well, I pulled out of my last layer one pools this morning, and it cost me a good $400 to do.
It's so fucking painful. God, it hurts.
And I was like, but I got to do it. I'm just so sick of this one. I got to just convert this out into ETH basically for the next push up. So, but now I'm on all the other platforms.
Yeah. So remember this Farm Hero we looked at the other day? They still haven't rug pulled yet.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. So you guys, look, this is why it's good to have Brad.
Where's the warning? Where's the warning, Joe?
Yeah, we got to throw it up. I mean, it's implied at this point. I think all of our listeners know that we're not.
Well, we get new listeners every day. We're growing, Joe. We're growing.
So let's pretend like this was up all day, okay?
Yeah. Soon we're just going to stake with 1% of our daily advertising revenue, and that'll be our fun.
There you go. So,
and Uber hasn't called yet.
Tin Cup Tour. Yeah. So the other one I thought was funny. I talked a lot about that Klima launch.
Oh, look at this. Wait. Sorry. Look at this. Referral program. 3% from every harvest in the yield farm. I'm going to send you a link, Joe.
I hate those things, man. But I know people make a ton of bank off of them.
But look,
so I recommend people do them too.
Look at this. So Polygon, it's still at the top for APY, that farm. 6,246.7%.
Which one's that on?
This is that Farm Hero.
Got it.
I love their design work. I mean, they did a really nice job on making this feel friendly.
Yeah, I was looking at Tree today, and I was thinking the same thing.
Loot box.
Oh, you know what I wanted to tell you?
Yeah.
I was looking at Geist. I was reading through all their stuff. That had been going down. And
wait, what does Geist do again? I forgot.
It's the Aave looking thing on Phantom.
Oh, yeah.
It's staking and borrowing and all of that.
Yeah.
They have an interesting vault product there that I didn't quite pick up on until I read the white paper again today. But that when you know, in part of that problem we talked about before, where whales are dumping, and how do you get people to hold longer? So, they have these, like when you stake in the LP pool on their site, they basically, you have those vests for 90 days, but you can pull them out anytime unless
right.
and take a 50% hit. Well, for people that pull like that 50% goes to the people that have it locked in the vault for 90 days. So it's almost like a Squid Game. To borrow, there's less and less people, or there's people burning them, and then those tokens are going to you. So you're controlling. So the APY in there, APR, is like 2,000%, but you got to let it sit for 90 days. You cannot pull it out.
Okay.
It's impossible.
It's how much? What's the APY?
2,000.
Jesus Christ.
So I look at it and I go, all right, so if you throw in, let's just say $1,000, you should be pulling out something like $5 to $6,000 at the end of 90 days, assuming everything's still there, the business and all. So that's always kind of the challenge, but it definitely seems like an interesting wrinkle.
I'm putting in 97 cents right now. That's how much Phantom I have. Oh, not enough for gas. Never mind.
But in our never-ending quest for new angles and new things that keep the liquidity on the platform, things like that I find interesting. So
wait a minute, they have 5 billion in this protocol? No, that's
are you on layer 2 or Phantom version?
I'm on Phantom, but that cannot be correct.
Let me go. That might be all of Phantom.
It has to be. There's no fucking, even that is a lot for Phantom. Well, it says 722 million on this one alone. Available liquidity 174. Maybe that's right. Holy shit.
I'm coming in right now.
What does market size mean?
Are you on markets page or?
I'm on markets page.
Market size is probably market cap. Well, no, because market cap of Phantom is like.
Now their market cap for Geist is 35 million. I'm a little flabbergasted. If that's
it looks like they have those volumes because
look at that.
People are borrowing like 300
Ethereum
million.
1.65 billion. What? Come on.
Well, a lot of people have been migrating, and maybe this is where.
But seriously, do you think what is it? 1.65 billion Ethereum has been moved over to Phantom?
It looks that way.
Oh my God. I think we're reading this wrong.
Because all those big groups have been launching new platforms on Phantom.
Holy shit.
Maybe they're starting to move it over.
Maybe. Do you find Guy, have you deposited here yet, or you're about to?
Yeah, no, I'm in the.
Do you find it really fast? Phantom's supposed to be really fast.
I like Phantom. Phantom to me was that I kind of looked at it and I go, $5 billion market cap. But then if I remember correctly, the other comp was total value lock to market comp. And they were like a 0.06. Wait. No, that's Curve. I'm sorry. They were at a much lower level than, say, the other ones. And so to me, that's attractive. It means like, there's opportunity to capture there.
Yeah.
And it's fast. But, I don't know which one wins, but I look at it and I go, if Solana's a $60 billion market
cap. It is.
Cap,
that's that number. The number is 5.48 billion total on the whole Phantom blockchain.
And look, all that looks like it came in the last.
Look at this. Geist has 48.29%. The fuck?
Yeah. So, this is a play that's going to be around for a while. So
shit.
It's on sale right now.
All right. Okay. So wait a minute. 3.89 billion of that TVL is locked on AnySwap.
So they're basically taking what's locked to them and locking it on AnySwap.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Still, that's astounding, dude. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah. That's what I was looking at.
Look at that move. Holy shit.
What time was that? What time was that move?
October 6th to October 10th.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's right around. I got to get that. I got an episode with the chief marketing officer at Phantom. I got to get that episode out. These guys are blowing up, but they set up Their fund is $100 million to get developers over, and it looks like it's working.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fast.
What the hell?
I mean, it's, you kind of think we're all looking at layer ones as if or could one take out, ETH. And it doesn't mean they have to take it out, but what's ETH market cap? Like 450 billion right now or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, Solana worth, 1/8 roughly of ETH? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like these, like can Phantom get to Solana market cap of 60 billion? Yeah, I think it can. It's got more functionality, it seems to me, than Solana at this
Fucking
point.
A.
And so, look, you're getting on this one. What is it? 240, I think, right now. So if it's at a 5 billion market cap and you're trying to get to, say, 60, that's a 12x.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously do your own research and all that, but
Holy
that's sort of the way I
shit.
think about it.
Yeah.
So I've been on this doing a lot.
Well,
I mean, it's just,
there's just not enough time in the day, dude. We
got to go.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, just there's not enough time in the day to do all of these chains and all of the projects within each chain. It's like insanity.
So it's got to be like what we talked about years ago. It's got to be the pipes between the chains and kind of decentralized Taoist hubs that are like the network nodes in between the chains, let's say, or the toll booths in between the chains, and seamless.
That's where the money is, dude.
Yeah, where nobody looks. I mean, you remember the last mile conundrum when it was, I think it was the power companies, the cable companies, and the phone companies all trying to see who was going to get the internet from the telephone pole to the house. This is pre-wireless, of course. Power company was in there strong. I mean, a lot of people don't know you can hook to the internet through your wall sockets and stuff through the copper wire. Yeah. And cable was obviously in a good position, and telecom, and how did it all shake out? Wireless.
Yeah, exactly.
So nobody thought about these mobile supercomputers that we walk around with our hand all day. So, there's always something that comes next. And I think you have to go with the broad thesis that this is a more efficient capital allocation model. It's nascent growing, but growing spectacularly. And it's going to be some solution of this, some combination of these.
This makes our bet on DeFi even more important, I think, because they are not just a swap and a yield farm. This is the underlying technology of Router, their protocol, they own it, or Router owns them. I don't know the relationship. It doesn't matter. DeFi is pushing itself to be that gateway, right? That clearinghouse. They launched on Phantom 6 days ago. And they want to be the guys who are making sure what comes through and goes back and forth. This is not financial advice, but I'm not taking anything out of DeFi yet. That's for sure.
No, I was thinking about that over the weekend too. And I was like, no, you got to wait to see what happens with Router. And that's like any week now.
Yeah.
They supposedly did the last kickback of the, return of the audit report to the auditors. And the audit firm is now resolving that. And supposedly there's no other major bugs that were discovered. It's just minor stuff. And how long that takes, I don't know. But once Router goes, you're going to really see what happens. And, a lot of talk, some people, I don't want to say names, but in other groups that we've been involved in, are really heavily into this one. People who owned like millions of Matic when it was at a penny.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is one that I'm very confident about, but look, I watch it all the time. So if it starts going south, I'm gone.
Well, I tell you, I now have a relationship with these guys and just giving them some free UI UX advice. And I have, I'm really impressed with the team. I'm really impressed with what they're producing with a small team. Like, I think they're at 22 people, 22 devs right now. Mm-hmm. And this project's really impressing me. And, you talking about this stuff and letting us see us kind of taking a look down the path of what Phantom is doing and the fact that they're launching there and that Phantom has had that parabolic growth in the last, look at this, Phantom's number 6 now in chains in total value locked.
Yeah. I mean, it's
and I still haven't climbed into Terra.
I keep wanting to. I was thinking about putting those crystal tokens because I think you can earn Luna in one of those, or there's a Divine Luna pool or something. I've seen that a lot. It's one of the ones I look at and go, maybe I should do that. as is Atom, as is AVAX.
Yeah.
And so what's holding me back on those, if not all, at least some, is that a couple of those have gone like 4x in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
And so
you want to jump in on the top.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I mean, all my other thesis points about the cycle of capital, I think hold. But if that's true, then that tells me that BTC has a blow off top and ETH has a blow off top. And people are going to sell out of some of these to buy ETH and BTC. And then they're going to come back to buy it. So I think if I'm going to enter those right now, I'm going to sort of wait and see what happens before adding another one to the list to have to watch all the time.
I did finally dive into Wonderland on Avalanche. I didn't buy the memo token on Phantom. That's where that is. What is it? W memo. Yeah, I didn't do that. I did it here directly on the site, so a couple of grand in here, churning.
What is that one? That's Wonderland. Is that right?
Wonderland Time. It's the Ohm fork.
For Avalanche?
Yeah.
Okay. So wonderland.time, that's the site?
It's wonderland.money.
Even better.
9.07% ROI over 5 days. Currently at 56,508 APY.
Yeah, I got to look at that more. We've been talking about this one for the Mechaverse or whatever you call it that they're building in there, and all the other stuff on Avalanche, and I just got to figure out what's going on.
I just hate I don't hate. I shouldn't say hate. I tell my children not to hate. I'm just not a big fan of the primary founder of Avalanche. I hate that cocky ass bro blockchain attitude. So I'm not. I think they're trying to soften up their communications now. I've heard somebody tell me the other day that's involved with the project that they're really working to. But
it's got that Wall Street bets tone of language.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, dude. Let's,
I mean, just what I always talk to my daughter about too is that, when we were kids, if you talked like that to someone, you got punched in the mouth.
Exactly.
That was it. And nobody got in trouble because you said something.
Yeah, because you were an asshole.
Yeah, the teachers were just like,
exactly.
You're the one who got in trouble. So controlled dialogue. Now everybody's hiding behind a device, behind a whatever.
Yeah.
And they just lash at everybody. And it's weak. So
Polysage, 3,000% USDC and Polysage, which looks like a pancake. It's a pancake fork on Polygon. These are the kind that I love this liquidity locked rug doc, KYC low risk rug doc, right? So KYC means not that you have to KYC here. It means that this group rug doc has KYC'd the founders. And so they know the founder's identity, even if they're anonymous, which is a service by them. I just don't know how trustworthy rug doc is. And supposedly liquidity is locked. I mean, I love the concept of, hey, we're going to know who these people are and know whether they're legit or not. I think it's a cool way to do it. Shield the user, the founders, but
rate the management team. And that comes into something the first thing I look at in the equity world is execution risk.
Yeah.
Great idea, nice people, but can they really do it?
Exactly.
Are they tough enough when shit goes sideways to fight their way through it?
Or are they just going to run with everybody's money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, it's very hard to do that in crypto. So something that is evaluating people is solid.
Yeah.
Big advantage.
This Multifarm, I spoke to one of the guys at Multifarm the other day on Discord because they put me in their private VIP group, and I love this tool, everybody, but they're still working on getting their data right. This is an alpha release of this, by the way, so I shouldn't even be harping on it. But when you come here, go verify on the site if you use this tool, because it's awesome. The concept is friggin' awesome, but the data is not always completely accurate. So right now, this Sage is showing 3,057% when it's actually 1,850%. Still nothing to sneeze at, but just be aware that.
Where is this? Is this Polygon or Avalanche?
Yeah, it's a Polygon. It's a Polygon pancake fork, polysage.finance. But Multifarm, is an awesome tool for finding across all chains, except Wax, I guess, all chains, potential yields. I mean, it's an amazing tool, but you just need to be aware that it's not always 100% accurate. So make sure you verify whatever you're doing.
And on that note, I just wanted, before we go, I wanted to give a quick update on the Klima thing from yesterday. I told you.
Oh, that was a clusterfuck, huh?
Oh, absolutely. No,
tell me about it. I didn't even do anything with it. But
well, I was scrambling to get to the airport, and I was, they were supposed to go at 4, so I was waiting. Well, what they had done is these new pools that were on Phantom, they essentially had it to where Polygon. What am I thinking? They had it set up to where they were going to weight the pools at the price of the last fair launch round, which at that point I think was like 340 odd bucks. But the token itself was trading on, I think their other network is Avalanche, I guess, for like $1,570. So my play there was get in quick, score the 5x, and then decide what I'm going to do at that point. Bail half, whatever. And so, of course, there was all this talk about people building bots to front run all the orders, and it was just going to be a total frenzy. I think their Discord channel at launch had 20,000 people in it cranking. So it was just chaos. Well, so lo and behold, some enterprising entrepreneurs decided to go in and start up their own pool there with the tokens before the official one was put up. But they did a different balance. They weren't setting the price at 323. They were setting the price at like 2,500. So
did nobody think this could happen?
I know. I was game. You know what?
I didn't understand because I heard that and I'm like, well, wait, isn't this the token launch? So there were already tokens out there, and the people that had them from the pre-private sale, whatever, started listing them and screwed up the entire launch.
Yeah, they already moved them onto Polygon because from these other two events, one was with Alchemix, actually, some Alchemix pool one, and so then all the bots start firing at 4:00, and everybody's buying the stuff at like 2,500. And well, first of all, it was shut down, delayed, and that's when I was heading to the airport. And I'm like, this just has bad tidings all over it for me. And so I didn't do anything. It was to make a long story. So it doesn't mean I won't. But
right.
There was also a play going on with their basic carbon token, the BCT one, where people were actually buying like $5 worth of it for $1,500. It was just crazy. So the verify part means when you're looking at a pool, look at the contract addresses. Make sure it's the token you want.
Yeah.
People could just go make up a name. Now, in this case, they were actually selling the Klima token, but
right.
they were just, screwed with the company's plan to like fairly launch it starting at 323.
Yeah.
But that created a FOMOing frenzy. And of course, a lot of people were trying to game it. And in
what's
the end,
the token? BCT?
Basic carbon token, I think it's called.
Wait, didn't I just have Dex Guru open here? Oh, there it is. And it's on Polygon?
This one, I'm starting to.
Yeah, BCTR, is that it? Trading at 1,992. And then there's BCT Polygon, which is trading at $7.75.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one.
There's another BCT Polygon.
BCT. Yeah, so there's a couple of these running around. So Klima.
Let's see if this is it. Oh, no, stale market. BCTR is a stale market. So I love this site.
So here's the thing. So Klima
Can I search on Klima?
Yeah, there's Klima DAO and a Klima on CoinGecko.
That's it? Poly?
I've got two screens and you're on the small one. So,
this is it.
So, but look what happened. Okay, so Klima's trading right now on
maybe
Polygon for 2,154. So, if you got in on that yesterday, you made out okay. I mean, of course, if you bought at 2,500, you're still down. But a lot of people think this is going to 50, 80,000 a piece. Water cooler chat. I have hearsay. I have no reason to think that's going to happen, but I'm hearing chatter like that. But not always some people say there's a way to game these carbon credit tokens to inflate the value. So there's a lot of talk about that. going on. So there's a lot of game theory playing out.
Which is the real Klima? This is interesting.
Klima DAO is real. Well,
this is Klima.com, right? And then I go to Dex Guru, and this Klima token, their website is KlimaDAO.finance.
Well, the one that...
And they're also a carbon-backed digital currency.
That looks more familiar, more similar. I mean, the site look is the same as the one I was looking at earlier.
But this looks like the legit one.
Okay, KlimaDAO.finance is the legit one.
Are you sure?
Well, on CoinGecko, that's what it says. You know,
maybe they just bought. Maybe they moved off of that domain and bought Klima.com for the launch, because this looks more like the legit project.
Yeah, it's
The other one looks like a bad copy. And they got the team doxed. Huh. Gets interesting.
Well, on CoinGecko, they're saying it's KlimaDAO.finance. So, and then they have the contract, which we can just check on Etherscan or FTMs. Where am I at? Am I on FTM? FTM scan.
Oh, you said this is FTM? The default protocol is FTM?
Dude, I don't remember. I think it's Avalanche to Poly or something.
Here, get the app. Let's go here. Oh, there's like a mobile app.
I mean, it sounds interesting, but again, execution risk. Can they do it? I mean, everybody's been trying to do this for a long time. I don't know. Can they be part of the solution? I think so.
Yeah, of course.
So to me, these are things that, again, unleash capitalism to correct something or readjust something, to rebalance something. And yeah, that's the main one. And, I think that's a good thing. Now, I haven't put any money in yet because, of course, I was more on the capitalistic side, trying to do a 5X in 10 minutes. But of course, the gods.
That's the beauty of capitalism, is the only thing that would drive us to actually get to that level of change we need, right? I mean, I shouldn't say only thing, but I definitely think can be a big driver.
There's a couple of things. There's legacy capital, of course, that doesn't want to change.
Yep.
And then there's new capital that wants to create change and disintermediate the legacy capital. Well, legacy capital, I don't know if you noticed, all the oil companies, they're all now energy companies, and they're getting into all these other things. So, of course, they dragged it out as long as they could. But it seems like, that's like car companies going to electric cars, It seems like finally, I mean, again, they're driving a super tanker instead of a speedboat, so it takes a little longer to turn that thing. But finally, I see, incremental change happening.
Yeah.
Do I think that morally they would be willing to go back to something that just fucks everybody and gives them a ton of money? Yeah. But I think that strategically they're thinking that game doesn't fly anymore, and we have to move to this model. So all of it's good. It all is transitionary. It shakes out the way it shakes out.
Yep. All right, dude.
All right, man.
Anything else today?
I think that is it. Save some for tomorrow. Let me see. Yeah. We did all that. I'll go more into Phantom tomorrow and, pull up the different, I'm still blown away by they're already at 5.49 billion. I mean, look at that. That's almost a 4 billion gain in like 4 days. Yeah. So when I look at stuff like
what
that,
the hell jumped in though? I mean, what?
Well, I think what happened is everybody was searching layer ones, and Near's been in that group for a long time, but Near never quite seems to be. Again, nothing that's Near, but it doesn't like it's like rolling out the product as fast as like Solana or Phantom or others or Polygon even. And so that's the VC backed one. I think people just shifted.
Well, you know what? I think Geist did it. Look at this.
It looks that way.
This is Geist on October 6th, 17 million in TVL. That was their launch, I guess, because it won't show me any history past
they just
October 6th.
30 days.
Right?
Ago,
This is the exact 4-day window of Geist launching and Phantom's parabolic rise in TVL. Geist is on October 10th, gets 3.75 billion in TVL.
Yeah.
So this is almost entirely, Phantom's growth is almost entirely based on Geist.
But it's bringing in the right type of DeFi first.
Yeah, it's more conservative, look more careful.
Well, no, but I mean, look, if we talk about DeFi 2.0, let's say, or whatever we call it, it's more of these inverse, different plays where there's deflationary stuff, and and Geist in particular, I'm talking about at this point.
Yeah.
So they're bringing in those types of plays, which I think is where everybody's, the Alchemaxy stuff.
Yeah.
It's where, that's where people want to play
Legit.
now. Yeah, yield farming, I mean, there are some inherent problems with it on the back end. The VCs run out of tokens to give. So what happens to yield? Most of these groups take what you deposit on a site and invest it somewhere else to get higher yield than they're paying you.
Yeah.
So what happens when those pools don't have high yield?
Yep.
So different things can happen. And some people think that it's going to cycle out of these types of things to more like the ohms, inverses, and all those cool deflationary lockup vaulty models.
Yeah.
With a whole bunch of cool features. Phantom's positioned for that perfectly. So I look to see, maybe a pair of groups now thinking about like in Polkadot. What about like Polkadot, Avalanche, and Phantom with a little bit of Polygon? I mean, there's so many ways to look at this that where you can make money. But remember, this isn't like those things where you put $1 in and forget about it for 20 years.
Yeah, of course.
This is something where you have to watch it. But, that's just my 2 cents. And read the bottom of this page real quick again, everybody.
Don't do anything we say.
Yeah. Anything else? I could wrap up now. I think
I'm good, man. Let's do it. I got to go look through.
I want to talk more about Kilroy too.
Fucking insurance. Yeah. Let's do that.
So I'll give you a call in a couple hours after you get a chance to look at the insurance stuff.
That'd be great. Appreciate it.
Talk to you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.